So here's a question. There's a video that I put where it's called "Belonging to Yourself," and my stepfather, my first stepfather, was sexually inappropriate with me. So this person, and so in that video, what I'm sharing is the conversation with my mother. I first found it to mean abandonment because I have a story of abandonment in me. Like, it's a story that I've carried for a while. But anyway, so I decided that what her words that first felt like abandonment meant were permission. So go find that video if you like. It's called "Belonging to Yourself." This question: what meaning can one assign to sexual abuse, such as what I experienced? Well, here's what. I don't know if there's a meaning. I know that, like Carolyn Meese has a theory about before we incarnated, we all sat at a table and somebody said, well, I would like to learn unconditional love. And then somebody else sat at the table and said, I'm going to be your villain so you can learn that in the face of this behavior I'm going to do. That's theories. Those are all theories. There are a bunch of different ways you can do it. A lot of people make it so they had to go through that before they could do the thing in their life. Here's what I know. I get to decide what things mean. And what I decide that it meant that Scott was sexually inappropriate with me is that was his. It was his. It didn't have anything to do with a 4 to 12-year-old girl. Zero. You can find other ways to say, well, you called it in or attracted it. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying that happened, and I'm leaving room for the mystery. And the things I got to learn later, because I decided that somehow it's gonna serve me, somehow. Because I decided. I'm deciding that it's not the thing that ruined my relationships. I'm deciding. But what does it mean? What is the meaning? I don't know. I'm leaving room for mystery. But the things that came out of it, to me, I get to talk to people who haven't experienced that, they just can't talk with people the same. I get to show people how, for me, what I've done is I've taken that lump, and then this steamy lump of shit, and the other things that happened that I would point back to at a previous time in my life, and then prove to you that I was a victim. I've decided that's not it at all. I get to choose what things mean about me. And what does that mean about me? Nothing. That was everything about Scott Johnson, that wasn't his real name. We played Your Last Name Is every time we moved. But anyway, that was him. That's him working shit out. Here's what else I know. That shit doesn't happen with somebody that is not perpetrated by somebody who isn't a traumatized human. Am I making excuses for him? No. It happened. It did happen. And there's zero that can be done about that. What can be done is that I get to decide that was his shit, and I just happen to be another person in that accident. And when I look at what I decide about me, I decide that doesn't have to be something that I use as an anchor to why I'm a victim. I get to decide that I don't have to use that as an anchor to why I need to be on guard for everyone. I get to use that as an anchor to why I get to learn how to be sturdy in myself And that I can have compassion for the people who didn't remember it like that, for the people who denied that it happened, for the people who say, well, it happens to everyone. I get to decide that that's their stuff. And I don't have to make it mean something about me. That's the beautiful thing about deciding you get to decide what things mean. You also get to decide that shit doesn't mean anything about me. And maybe at another time, something will open up, or I'll see a glimmer of maybe how it did have something to do with me. And I reserve the right to change my mind any motherfucking time I want. Because I decide. I decide. And I love your heart. And that video is called Belonging to Yourself. And it starts out with saying sometimes something that was seen as abandonment can be seen as permission. And I want you to know that. Sometimes other people will come and stoke the abandonment story in you because it's in them too. But you get to decide if it's abandonment. You. And here's another thing. Learning how to be sturdy in yourself. Sometimes it's threatening to other people. Because then if they agree to that, then something else about them needs to change. They get to think, well, maybe I was wrong about this. Or if I notice that I am a traumatized human who is raised by a traumatized human, does that mean that I have to be okay with the way everybody else treats each other? No, you don't have to be okay with it. But fighting with reality about it, that they shouldn't, that it ought not have happened, maybe it's a losing fight. Like arguing that this ought not be a sparkly peach cup. It is. So you either decide what this cup means or that it doesn't mean anything about you. All right? I love you very much. So many bowls of spinach.